All right, guys, we are live in the with the January 11th Macros Inc. Facebook Live Q&A. While I'm waiting for people to join, while people are watching on YouTube, watching the replay in the group, if you're on YouTube, go to Facebook, Macros Inc. We're the group with 26,000 people in it, 24,000, sorry. So it is a great group. You should join it. Coaching info. You can go to macrosinc.net, get our coaching info. There's we coach a lot of people. We'd love to have you on. So let's talk about I'm waiting for a couple more people to get in here. If you have questions, type them. We'll get to them. Right now, first thing I want to talk about, for people watching for people coming in, let's talk about the conference. The Macros Inc. conference is, Flexible New Fitness and Nutrition Summit, hosted by me and Brad Dieter from Eat to Perform. I met with our first speaker today, the first confirmed speaker today. He will be announced tomorrow. So we have Brad Dieter, who's already been announced, but he's hosting it with me. I will be emceeing the thing, and then our first speaker will be announced tomorrow. The ticket sales are going good, so I would recommend getting on the pre-sale. There's not a lot of info on there. The link's in the front of the comments, but it is going to sell out. I don't have any doubt about that. So I jump in. Hotel rooms. There is Comic-Con going on that weekend in Chicago, so you might have a hard time getting a hotel. We have a block of rooms. Jump in, get your room, get into that summit. The tickets are discounted until the end of this month. All right, guys. So let's talk while we have people. Again, if you have questions, type them. We'll stack them up. Now, let's talk about goals. We all have goals. Maybe your goal is to lose 10 pounds, to get into beach shape, lose 200 pounds, step on stage at a bodybuilding competition, step on the platform at a powerlifting meet. Maybe you want to gain 10 pounds because you have a hard time with that. We all have goals, all right? Whatever your goal is, it needs to be impactful. Is this goal something that's so life-changing, it's so huge, and it's such a buildup in you that you stay up all night. You can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't work, you can't talk to other people without the stupid ass grin on your face, just because you're picturing your goal and how happy you're going to be if it's just thinking about it all day. It's all you can think about. Then you have a goal. You have something that is life-changing that you are going to work to get. Something so great that nothing's going to stop you from getting it. But you have this long-term goal, and you're not just going to be there immediately. There's steps to get there, and that's the big problem that I notice with people when I talk to clients is they have these great goals, and they see the end. They know what's going to make them happy. How the fuck do you get there? So we need to break down our goals, and you need to always be reevaluating your long-term and your short-term. Break them down, chunk them down. Your goals is a year out. You need to stop and look and figure out what you're going to do. How are we going to get there? Are you dieting? Let's break this diet down from a year and let's go down to 30%. I'm going to diet down 30% of the weight, take a 1 week break. 30% of the weight, 1 week break. 30%, and then I'm done. Chunk your goals down. I'm going to lose 100 pounds in a year. Okay, but how much are you going to lose in the next 3 months? That's what we can visualize. It's hard to gauge a year out. Small, little goals are what work. It's silly to be able to expect to be a powerlifter overnight. Success and happiness take time. That long-term goal has to be visualized and alive. But on the way there, just enjoy that ride. Just make sure that these little things add up along the way. So just real quick, if you have questions, put them in there. But what I was saying, just to summarize, remember, if you're having trouble sticking to your goal, or your diet, or your training, maybe you need to look at your goals and your why. Your goals need to be well-defined. Your whys. The why is just as important, if not more important than the goal. Why do you want this? You have to know why. Is your why filled with passion? And they both need to be something, the why and your goal need to be something that's personal to you. Something you can't live without. Something that is going to be more life-altering than anything. Then you'll succeed. All right? So, guys, any questions in there? I'm watching the live feed, and all I see are highs. My beard is thick. Thank you, Alex. Summer, your beard is, sorry, is girthy right now. This is nothing. This is still still growing. I had to shave it because I was around my great-grandmother, and she says that you look like a hippie with a beard, so I had to get rid of it. Let me move this camera over here. So it's coming back in full force. It will be there. Thank you. Eleanor, I know we're not supposed to post unrelated things, but can I post a picture? You can post a picture, Eleanor. I don't know what you post a picture of, but I know you and I trust you, so go ahead. I'm late. Thanks, Tom. I'm late by 3 minutes, so thank you, Tom, for pointing that out. Eleanor, of my newborn. Oh, Eleanor, yeah, post it. I'd post a picture of your baby. That's the only time you'll ever hear me say baby pictures are okay. This reminds me of a Bourne movie. Okay, Gabe. And Gabe is the one who messaged me and asked me when I was doing my next live, and that pushed me to do it tonight instead of tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the announcement about our new speaker at the conference. Alex, my beard's looking thick. Oscar, hi. Georgina, as an order lady starting. Oh, good question. Guys, you have questions, type them in there. Let's get them going. Let's keep going with questions so I have a stack of them. Otherwise, I'm just going to start talking about fiscal responsibility and monetary policy, and you don't want to hear that. As an older lady starting a bulk, is creatine going to benefit me now? I would think you should take creatine. If you're weightlifting, you should always take it. There's no downside to it. There's more evidence that actually, as you get older, it has a lot of benefits to it. If we give me a second, let me go over. I have a list of creatine in older population. Older population is actually my favorite topic. So, creatine supplementation. Over 50 years old increased. There was a study that found it increased. They were taking 3 to 9 grams of creatine per day after the loading phase. It increased their upper body strength. It did not increase their leg press strength. And it increased a kilogram of lean tissue to fight age-onset muscle loss. That's pretty big. Creatine supplementation during training in older adults from Stu Phillips, who's the man when it comes to these kind of things. He found a 1.33 increase in lean body mass in older adults. So there's a lot of anti-catabolic effects. It works. Sorry, I was reading something on my screen. So effects of creatine and resistance training on bone health in postmenopausal women. Creatine reduced the rate of bone loss more than placebo. Bone loss still occurred, but the rate was reduced. So I definitely would recommend it. Also increased your bone strength. But resistance training must happen. If you are not resistance training when taking creatine, it's not going to have these effects. You have to train, and then creatine will give you these effects and amplify the effects of resistance training. Great question. Let's see. All right, Summer. Oh, it's something. Thank you. Eleanor, thanks. Corey, sup. Dylan, joint Q&A soon. Weird enough, we have a call tomorrow where we will be discussing that. It's like you read my mind or my notes. Fronia. Yusuf. Glute development to help. Guys, questions, type them. I want a stack of questions. I don't care if you're asking questions that you already know the answer to. Something to keep me going. There's people watching. I actually just got a message today from somebody telling me that like other people that they know are watching these, and they know they don't participate in the group, but they're like, oh, I saw this in the group. I get messages from people who I've never seen post in the group. I go back. They message me. They've been in the group for months. They ask me lots of good questions. I look. They have no activity. So there are a lot of lurkers in here, a lot of people who just don't ask questions. If you have a question, they watch these videos later. These videos get 1,000 views over the next 2 days. Ask questions. Help everybody else out. That's why a lot of us are here. Yusuf, glute development to help a lot. Yusuf's questions always require really detailed answers because he has really good ones. Any alternative to hip thrust besides glute ham raise already added? Oh, yeah, and the number one thing I add in is a hip thrust. So I would say you do block pulls, just working on your deadlift stuff, block pulls, things like that. I actually have a list of things because I had hurt my back and couldn't do deadlifts, so I have a thing of alternatives for them. Let me find it. If you shoot me a PM or post in the group, Yusuf, I will get you that list. I don't know. I have like 3 Dropbox accounts, and it's in one of them. It actually might be an email from Peter Fitzchin. I can't remember where I got the list from. But let me know. I will get you a whole list of them, and we'll make it a thread. Stephanie Albridge, is creatine only beneficial in a bulk? I've never taken it, but I see a lot of people here do. No, it's beneficial anytime you are resistance training. So I would just take, once you're past the loading phase, if you're going to load, I load just because I'm impatient, and I don't see why not. if I stop taking it. But I've been taking creatine every day since I think I've had 5 times in my life where I've stopped taking it since I was 15. And then, like, I just came back from New Orleans, and I normally take pills with me because I don't want to reload. And I was on vacation for a week. I stopped. Now, the washout period's like 30 days, so I probably didn't need to, but I reloaded with 10 grams a day for a week just because I'm paranoid. But I would definitely take 5 grams a day every day. You'll get a little stronger. You'll recover a little faster. Your workouts will be a little better. There's no reason not to take it. Creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate is the only one you should take. That's it. Just creatine monohydrate. Flavored, unflavored, whatever you want. Mix it with something. But don't buy any of these other ones. Just creatine monohydrate. All right, Adrian. Guys, questions. Type them up. Let's keep getting them. Yeah, I know you are. Sorry, Yusuf said I'm very technical with this stuff. I know you are, and I love your questions. But and most of them I could give you answers, but I want to give you detailed answers because your questions are very technical, so they deserve their own thread with them because your questions are always really good. But make a thread. I'd love to. I think we did that with the last 3 questions you've had. Adrian, is soreness from lifting reflected in any way on the scale? For example, water retention. Is that a thing? Yeah, water retention is a very real thing. So I'm dieting right now on, what day is today? Today's Thursday. On Tuesday, I was 191 pounds. On Tuesday, I was 190.6. Wednesday, I was 192.2, I think. And then today, I was 190 even or 189.6. I can't remember. I weighed myself twice because I woke up and then went back to bed, and I don't remember which weight I used. But the point is, there was water weight from last night. Last night before I went to bed, I had in my macros, and I had a giant-ass bowl of popcorn. So carbs are going to make you retain water weight. Every gram of carb you have, you pull in 3 grams of water. So and I salted it, so there's even more water retention from the sodium. So your weight will go up and down based on that. So you will see scale weight. That's why we look at what weights in weekly averages, not day to day. Things like your cycle, stress, sleep, how heavy if you talk to, especially in women, leg day, their weight goes up the next day because you're causing damage, so you have to repair it. So you retain water to repair that. So your weight will go up the next day. Heavy lifting days, day after, you're typically a little higher in weight. So look at your average weight and adjust. Stephanie, what does loading mean? So creatine has to it's not an instant. You take creatine, you get muscle. That's not how it works. It saturates your muscle so we can use it later. You store it in your muscle. So you can take a bunch of creatine up front, typically 10, 15, 20, depending on who you're talking to and who it is. You can take more creatine up front and load the muscle. You just get a whole store of it, and then you get the effects of it in a week. Or you can just take 5 grams for 30 days, and you get the same effect. There's arguments on if you should do it. Creatine's so cheap. Why wouldn't you? I just would load it, get it done, get the benefits as fast as you can. That just seems to make the most sense to me. But some people don't like to load it, so that's fine. Let's see. Joy. Healing from foot surgery. Would it be crazy to work my upper body from a chair? No. I don't think so. I can't remember if I had Helen doing that or she was on complete rest when she had her surgery. No, as long as you are not going to risk causing further injury if you have to brace yourself or carrying a weight, you don't want to risk that. You're not going to be able to go very heavy. So you have to look at that. Is it going to be easier just to sit there, recover? But I would work your upper body. You might get a little bit of an imbalance, but it should even out relatively quick. Pardon me. It's late here and I don't have my Monster with me. So yeah, I would just, as long as it's not going to hurt you, no harm in it. Summer, if someone, me, is doing poverty macros, which means very low calories, during the week and maintenance on the weekend for a cut, where would you think the percentage should be during the week? I'm probably explaining this wrong. I kept my protein the same, but consumed 900 calories below maintenance during the week. Other than the psychological and energy issues, is there such a thing as too low? There is such a thing, but as long as you're managing it, I don't know how much you weigh, Summer, so it's a little hard to say if that's too low. But this is actually something that came up in the group today. It's kind of funny you said that. It's similar. But remember, energy balance is a long-term thing. So people fast for alternative day fasting. People fast for long periods of time. So I don't think it's going to be too low. You're still getting food, and your overall balance is okay. If you're feeling like crap, then we need to up your daily calories. But as long as your weekly calorie balance is okay, you're going to be fine. One of the things that came up in the group was with Francine Durnford today, and she had said she posted a picture of food that she was eating, and sorry, people are messaging me. She posted a picture of food that she was eating for dinner, and she's on a bulk, and it was like a pizza, McDonald's fries, a huge salad, two burger patties, pudding, and a bunch of stuff in there. And what we did with her was she was bulking, and she said she's had lower calories, high calories for her size, but still lower calories. And she said, I still feel when I go out, I don't have enough food. I'm still like stressing over hitting my macros when I'm going out, so I don't gain too fast. And from talking to her, she's one of my clients. I could tell it was stressing her out. So what we did was actually lowered her daily calories, but I took 125 or 150 calories off every day, which still kept her calories high enough for a day that she didn't feel like she was dieting. She's still in a surplus 6 days a week. And then we took those 150 and put them onto one giant-ass refeed day in a bulk. So she just has this huge day where she's at like 3,000 calories and can just eat what she wants without caring. She can go out for a meal. She doesn't drink, but she can go out for a drink if she wants. That's something that she's the first person I've ever tried that with, and it's working really well. So remember, it's not just one day. So Summer, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. It's actually fairly common. I'm kind of doing the same thing right now myself. Not as low as 900, but I did lower my calories and give myself a very, very high refeed day and low calories the rest of the week. Alex, common question. Guys, if you have questions, type them. I want a surplus of them. We'll keep them going. Alex says, why is the macros cake... This comes up all the time in our admin chat. Alex is one of our admins if nobody knew. Why is the macros calculator somewhat inaccurate for people? Why do the mods adjust the values when they're posting in the group? So, Alex, great question, and you did it on purpose, so I appreciate it. And if you didn't see the Facebook Live that Alex and I did together the other day, go through the group, go to videos, and you can find me and Alex doing a joint session. I think that was on the 9th. It was a good two-person Facebook Live. So, what the calculator is it's an estimator. It's not accurate. It's accurate, but it's a formula. It's just based off average things. Let's give you average calories. Now, when I'm talking to you, or when I set your macros, now when we as coaches set your macros, we have a huge questionnaire. We want to know everything about you, so we can get your program to fit you. But when I'm in the group, you put your calories in. We'll adjust them because we can look. We'll look at a picture of you if we need to. We'll get more info. It's more personal. Doing it by hand is way easier than typing into way more accurate than some formula, a predictive formula. It's an estimate. It doesn't work for some people because most people will misestimate their energy expenditure. They'll say, "Oh, I'm very active." Well, very active would be a waitress who runs. Extremely active would be a waitress who's on her feet all day who runs marathons. That'd be very active. You have a desk job and walk your dog 3 days a week. That's not very active. So people, that's probably the biggest problem. The other problem is if you have a lot of weight to lose, and I'll go with anything over 40 pounds to lose. The accuracy of those all calculators really varies, and because most calculators aren't going to take you below 10 calories per pound, and when you have a significant amount of weight to lose, we're going to go low. So we might even go as low as 6 calories per pound, depending on how big you are. So the more weight you have to lose, the more variables there are. Gabe, what are some reasons for sustained periods of time where there is no scale change, even though inches are lost and photos show a change? So there's a couple. The most popular theory on this is the whooshing effect. Now, to the best of my knowledge, there's no studies proving this, but there's no studies disproving it. And the theory does make the most sense, and is the one I hear repeated the most. And I've read quite a bit on it. I asked a few people. I've actually had a couple people who tell me they don't agree with it, but they don't have an explanation. So it's the best explanation we have, and that is You have a fat cell. Fat cell's filled with fat. You empty that fat because you're losing it. You need it for energy. But that fat cell, the structure of the cell, the membrane, is still there. Water comes in, fills that, holds its structure and the weight. So you lost fat, now you have the cell. Eventually, that cell, the membrane, is going to cave in, and that water is going to go away, and then you'll have a whoosh, a big drop in weight. I had one the other day where I dropped 4 pounds overnight. I did not drop 4 pounds of fat overnight. I dropped 4 pounds of water overnight. And some people hold on to it longer than others. So many variables can come into that. But remember, weight loss is not just on a scale. It is visual, it is measurement, and it is scale. It is all three of those. And if you're making progress on one of them, then you're making progress. The scale is not the end-all be-all. It's what we use because it's easy to measure, but it's not the only way to gauge progress. I have one client right now who is, I think she's only 6 pounds down from her starting weight 4 months ago, and she was lean to begin with, but she looks like a completely different person, and the scale was just this, it has been horrible to her, but if you put her first picture and her last picture, it looks like a 2-year difference because she's working her ass off. But the scale is not all that matters. So just always keep that in mind. That's why, and that's again, another reason why we look in big average chunks. I'm not looking day to day. I'm looking week to week. Day to day is not the ultimate thing. It's probably the worst thing that we can look at. I'm going to look at it for big trends. Was there a 10-pound drop overnight and that's why your average dropped? I want to know that. Is there a huge increase the day after Christmas? Well, I want to know that, and I'm probably going to take that out and recalculate your average by hand. Kelly, wanting to lose the belly, even with counting macros, are there any foods that I should stay away from? Nope. Your diet should consist mostly of whole nutritious foods, minimally processed things, fruits, vegetables, oats, healthy foods, things that we all know, oh, that's healthy. We just have to count the calories in them. But there's only so many micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, fiber, things like that, that we can take in a day. I can only take in so much fiber before I'm full and going to blow up, right? Or I'm going to have other issues. So we need to have a balance. And it sucks because I don't want to be on this rigid diet. I want to enjoy life. I want pizza, ice cream, shakes, whiskey. I want things. So the other 20%, 30% of your diet, depending on how tight you want to be, should be food you love, junk food. Have M&Ms, have candy, have whiskey, have what you want, have pizza. People, I have protein bars. I mean, that's the most processed thing you can eat. Are you counting that as health food, or are you counting that as processed food? So it's a guide. It's a sliding scale. There's no hard rules on it. But there are no foods that are going to accelerate fat loss or slow progress down. Sorry. There's no foods that are demonized. None. If you don't like it, don't eat it. If you like it, try to eat it. Sorry, guys, I've been doing so many of these, my voice is starting to go. Rachel Heck. Hey, guys, if you have questions, type them. I want those questions. I want to stack them. If I don't have questions when I get to the last one, we're going to end. It's late, and I still have some accounting to do. Rachel Heck. Eating in a surplus seemed to make me hot and sometimes anxious. I also felt like shit. Have you had clients experience this? I don't know how much this was mental or psychological or sociological. I think it's supposed to be psychological. I also couldn't figure out if it was more related to volume of food or actual calories. There was just a poll in this group maybe, or in another group. I think it was another group that came up on Facebook about people who sweat when they eat. I am not one of those people, but yeah, there are a lot of people who do sweat when they're in a surplus. It just happens. People sweat. They get the meat sweats, right? It's a thing. It just happens. You're eating more food. Your body's trying to burn off those calories. Your core temperature is going to increase. You're going to sweat. So it does happen. I would try maybe having smaller meals. Does it happen every single time you eat? Is it with hot food? Is it with cold food? Is it only at night? If it's very uncomfortable, try figuring out things that can stop it. I'm going to guess it's from big meals. That's when if it would happen to me, I could see it happening then, because that's when I start to get uncomfortable. Maybe slow down. slow down your eating, you'll get full, and then that maybe will prevent it. Hey guys, questions, ask them. Otherwise, after I get done with Ashley's right here, I am out. Ashley, I'm still on a diet, but changed my workout, and I'm now attempting heavier lifting. My weight, which was up from the holidays, has not come down at all this week. I was doing an hour of cardio every other day, and my weight was coming down on the same calories. Does the heavy lifting make me retain water or something? Multiple things. So, Ashley was one of my clients, and this is a great question. We changed her exercising from at-home workouts. She's still working at home, but went from DVDs, things like that, to heavier lifting. It aligned a lot better with her goals, and she was ready to do it. So doing that, it's hard to balance out that cardio based on what she was doing to what she is doing. I didn't want her to get too tired. So actually what I would say is, remember, this is a sliding scale. We're kind of trying to figure out where everything lies. So we might have to add in a little more cardio. We might have to lower calories a little bit. It just varies on activity level. The problem, you can't give somebody, if you're working out 5 days a week at home in your basement doing something like Insanity, which is a great workout. A lot of people have had amazing results as long as you enjoy it. If you're doing that 5 days a week, but then you're going to switch to something like resistance training and you're doing that 5 days a week, your time in the gym and working out is going to be about the same. Can you dedicate, but there's not a lot of cardio like there is with Insanity. So your energy expenditure has decreased significantly. Now, can you dedicate another 30 minutes every day or another 45 minutes every day to go do cardio to increase that energy expenditure? It's a balance. And you have to really work hard to find that balance. So, look at it for a week. Is there no change at all? All right, let's make a change, especially after the holidays. And okay, let's add in another day of cardio and see what happens. Or let's increase your 3 days a week at 30 minutes to 3 45-minute sessions. So there's a balance and there's time management things in there. So it's just a matter of figuring out where that balance is. Actually, lowering calories makes me want to cry. Yeah, I don't want to lower your calories. Will probably just increase cardio. So your calories are low, and Ashley's made some crazy progress since we've been working together. So, guys, questions, keep them coming. If anybody has questions, type them out. Otherwise, I am done, and I'm going to be doing accounting all night. So please keep those questions coming. Jay says, my girlfriend is curious about taking creatine and wants to know if females take 5 milligrams or is less for females. So they could take 5 grams. It's fine. There are some things that say they could take 3. Take 5. Why not? I mean, unless you're a tiny female, maybe take 3, but it's not going to hurt you to take 5. So I would go 3 to 5. There's a loading protocol for smaller people, or not loading protocol, just a supplementation protocol that was at 3 grams a day, or for small females, or for small males, I guess it would be 2. And people who were average size or big size people, bigger people, average size athletes who were afraid of the water retention and weight gain, like if you had to be in a specific weight class, and you want to take creatine, they take 3 grams and they wouldn't see that water weight gain. But I kind of want that intramuscular water is what I want. Intracellular water is what I want. It's going to make your muscles look fuller. It's not going to give you that bloating look that people fear. It just doesn't happen. All right, guys, any other questions? We're going to cut out in a few seconds here. So if you did not hear me say it earlier, we have the macros. Yep, no problem, Jay. We have the macros, the Flexible Fitness and Nutrition Summit coming up in Chicago, August 23rd, 24th. Pre-sales are now. Get the tickets while you can. The pre-sale will end at the end of this month. We are announcing our first speaker tomorrow, outside of Brad Dieter. I highly recommend that. Coaching info, the link's in the comments as well. Oh, we got more questions. All right. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. Robin says, lowering calories or adding cardio, which is better? I'm not seeing the scale move how I want. Depends, which is the most common answer in fitness. It depends. It depends on you. Are you okay lowering calories? Or do you have time to do more cardio? Can you dedicate more time to this? Maybe we do both. A little bit of calories we'll take, instead of 100 calories a day, we'll take out 50 calories a day and increase cardio by 20% per day. It depends. There's a balance you have to find. That's part of what coaching is. My job is to help you find that balance. Otherwise, you just have to figure it out. Trial and error. That's it. That's the only way to do it. Gabe, could eating a majority of your carbs late in the day impact the results the next day? Day to day, yes, but long-term trends, no. So if I eat a bunch of carbs, if I eat 500 carbs, 500, if I eat, let's say 200 grams of carbs right before I go to bed, the next day the scale's going to go up. If I eat 200 carbs the next day, the scale's not going to go up anymore. It's going to stay where it was. So, but if I'm losing body fat, you'll slowly see it trend down still. But then the next day, if I eat no carbs after 5, the scale's going to plummet because I'm not going to hold that water. That's why we look at averages, because timing does matter. But if you're eating, we typically, no matter what people say, we typically eat the same basic foods every day. We typically eat in the same pattern, same times, things like that. So when you're eating, if you at night right before you go to bed, you have 80 grams of carbs every night, the water weight is going to be there every day. So fat will still be lost, that water weight will remain, but we will still see the fat loss. So don't worry about carb timing for the most part. Again, it's why we look at averages, not daily. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. I love being in here and doing these. And Ashley, tickets, the link is actually at the top of the Facebook Live thing. It's on Eventbrite. We do have its own our own website. It is the flexiblefitsummit.com. It's not 100% done. That's why the link's not up there. Flexiblefitsummit.com or that Eventbrite link that's right on the top of this Facebook Live. And that's about it. All right, guys. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic night, and I will be talking to you tomorrow when we announce our first confirmed speaker for the Flexible Fitness and Nutrition Summit in Chicago, August 23rd and 4th. Have a good night.